In a quiet town on the outskirts, there's a bridge that locals rarely talk about after the sun goes down. Hidden away in the shadows, it waits. The kind of place that feels like it's stuck in time, where the air is colder, the night longer, and the history darker than it seems. They say the bridge is haunted by something that doesn't belong to the living, a shadow, a figure that appears on certain nights, and it's not just a trick of the light. Some say it's the spirit of a man who fell from the bridge and died long ago, and now his ghost lingers, watching, waiting. But if you ever find yourself crossing that bridge after dark, especially alone, you might just see something in your rearview mirror that you won't be able to explain. A shadow that doesn't belong to you. And worse, if you stop the car and get out, it might just follow you home. This is the eerie tale of the shadow on the bridge. The bridge stands alone on the outskirts of town, its creaky wooden planks and weathered stone pillars a testament to the years gone by. But for as long as the locals can remember, it's been known for something far more unsettling than just its age. It was built in the late 1800s during a time when the town was growing, but it wasn't always so quiet. There was a time when it was bustling with activity, people crossing it daily, connecting the small village to the other side of the river. But tragedy struck one fateful night. The legend tells of a man, a traveler, who was passing through the area. It was late, and the fog rolled in heavy that evening, much like it does now. As he made his way across the bridge, a strong gust of wind caught him off guard. Unable to keep his balance, he slipped, falling from the edge, and plummeted into the river below. His body was never recovered, and no one really knew what became of him after that night. Some say his death was an accident. Others whisper that the bridge itself is cursed. But one thing is certain, the man's spirit never left. They say the man who fell from the bridge didn't rest. His soul was trapped in the area, doomed to wander in search of peace. And now, on certain nights, his shadow appears. On quiet nights, when the air is thick with fog and the only sound you hear is the creaking of the old bridge, some claim that the shadow of the man who died can be seen crossing the bridge. The strange thing is, it doesn't seem to belong to anyone or anything alive. No living person casts this shadow. It appears in your rearview mirror when you drive across the bridge, a dark, blurry figure that seems to follow you no matter how fast you go. It's almost as if it's walking in the same direction as your car, keeping pace as you cross the bridge and continue down the road. At first, you might think it's just a trick of the light, a passing illusion. But those who have stopped and stepped out of their cars say otherwise. When you stop the car, that's when the real horror begins. You get out, thinking maybe you'll clear your head, but the shadow remains. You turn around, looking back at the bridge, and that's when it's no longer just a figure in your rearview mirror. It's there, right behind you. Once you step out of your car, the shadow is no longer something you can dismiss. The legend says that once the shadow has been seen up close, it becomes attached to you. No longer just a part of the bridge, it now follows you. But it doesn't stop there. The people who've encountered the shadow claim that it doesn't just follow you on your drive home. It follows you into your life. It appears in dark corners just out of sight, watching. Some say they hear footsteps behind them, growing louder as they walk down the street. Others claim that the shadow can appear in your dreams, showing you glimpses of the bridge and the night when the man fell. But the most chilling part? The shadow never leaves until you return to the bridge and leave a token behind, a gesture to appease the restless spirit. For those who don't return to the bridge, the shadow's presence becomes more sinister. People who've ignored the warning and tried to live with it have said they've experienced accidents, sudden sickness, or inexplicable events that seem to pull them deeper into a sense of dread. If you've seen the shadow on the bridge, the curse doesn't just fade with time. It lingers, stalking you until you confront it. The townspeople believe that the only way to rid yourself of the curse is to go back to the bridge, stand where the man fell, and leave something behind, something important, a token of your own. But no one knows if this really works, because there are stories of people who returned, left their offerings, and still never escaped the shadow's grasp. The more you try to escape it, the more the shadow seems to follow you. And if you refuse to return to the bridge, the shadow will keep haunting you, growing stronger and closer until it consumes you. One thing is certain. If you encounter the shadow and you don't make peace with it, you will never be the same. Your life will be marked by misfortune, your every step followed by a presence that you can't explain. And when the shadow appears, you'll know that there's no running from the past. And so, the legend of the shadow on the bridge lives on. Those who've crossed the bridge after dark, whether they've seen the shadow or not, claim that they'll never forget the feeling. The strange sensation that something is watching them, following them. The bridge remains, standing in silence, waiting for the next person who dares to cross it after dark. For those who do, the shadow will always be there, lurking in the darkness, waiting for the next soul to encounter its curse. Thank you for watching this chilling tale of the shadow on the bridge. If you enjoyed this story, be sure to like, subscribe, and ring the notification bell so you never miss another spine-chilling legend from the darker corners of the world. And remember, if you ever find yourself on the outskirts of town, crossing that old bridge at night, don't look back. Because if you do, the shadow just might be waiting for you.